I was sensitized to the issue of early voting and ABs very personally by my mom. My mom passed exactly 18 days after voting for the last time. She voted in person. She voted for Barack Obama. She died on November 22nd of '08. Thank you, sir. She was dying of cancer. And she came from a generation where voting was done in person. She had not been an absentee mom. She had not been an absentee landlord. She wasn't going to be an absentee voter, even though her former city councilman's son knew how to get her an AB. I had commuted to New York for a while on Metro North through your city with some frequency every day. And I'd sit there on the train, packed with people, and ask myself, as somebody who thinks about these issues of standing and who's passionate about this issue of voting, are people voting today? You're on the train at 6 o'clock in the morning. Did you register for that AB? My campaign manager, one thing a lot of people don't know about him is that he has a son who served a tour of duty in Iraq. Something I talk about is I'm a 9/11 survivor. I joke a little bit that corporate cost cutting saved my life. But that was primary day, the day that changed the world, or our world. And that was the first time I had not run in New Haven in 5 years. And so who votes, who gets a voice, what's the process? A lot that I think about. I'm not convinced that Connecticut requires a constitutional amendment to open up its absentee rules. There are 3 exceptions that allow for an absentee ballot, as the Office of Legislative Research believes right now. But I don't believe that they've really explored fully the question of what it means to cast a ballot, what the definition of election day actually is. And those are opportunities, I believe, to explore so that you wouldn't necessarily need a constitutional amendment to open up the definition of absentee balloting. Because mail-in voting is effectively absentee balloting. The reason we don't have it in Connecticut is because in Connecticut it's based on an exception basis, and I'm advocating to make it on a non-exception basis to make it the norm, or an option that could be part of our norm. But if necessary, I will go on bended knee to all of our state reps, one at a time, and all our state senators, one at a time. I talk with them about this, and progressives like it. It's the other side that values the status quo because it institutionalizes the status quo. Not having it institutionalizes the status quo. But it is time. I mean, Oregon is one extreme. I don't think that we could handle that here in Connecticut. But I do think we could handle something more like California, which is what I put in the documents you have before you, where individuals can opt in to mail-in balloting and not be tied to a poll. My city, I gave you the numbers, but we had 30 places to vote. I told you 11,289 were the total counted on November 3rd. That's, you do the math. Is that the best use of resources? One of your questions is about, reducing the budget. Is that the best use of resources? I don't think so. It's much cheaper to count a mail-in ballot than it is to staff polls.